Senior Year is another Rebel Wilson comedy, but this time she is a high schooler. Not a common high schooler. Well, the character is a pretty common one among the genres, but my point is the gimmick has a slight twist. Imagine Sheer from Clueless, and she travels through time 20 years ahead, also grows old 20 years in a blink of an eye. Plus she is played by a Rebel Wilson. I know I'm making this sound stupid, but it's not that stupid when you watch it. Yeah. But having Avril Lavigne's song is always a thumbs up from me. I'm a fan, both Avril and Melissa.
See you later, boys!
The movie tells the story of a popular high school senior after being set up by her rival, went into a coma for 20 years. When she wakes up, the whole world has evolved 20 years without her even knowing. Seeing she has no other options, she decides to go back to high school and finish her senior year in order to live the life she lost when she was lying in her hospital bed. Along the way, she learns to be herself and not live for others, the usual high schooler shit. Right from the get-go, this is a very actor-heavy comedy. It requires a lot from the cast to tell the jokes and make the material funny. So I couldn't tell you if the movie is actually funny. I did chuckle a few times, but other than that, I don't really think it was funny at all. So it really depends on whether you like the Rebel Wilson style of comedy. It is a combination of middle finger jokes, being narcissistic, people pointing out that they are being ridiculous, and just straight up trying to be exaggerated. If those are the types of comedy you enjoy and you like Rebel Wilson, then maybe you will like it. But I think Rebel's acting is pretty lackluster in the movie. Not necessarily bad. When she acts, you know what she is trying to convey, but she feels a little wooden sometimes, and sometimes her emotions and facial expressions is just not enough. It feels like she is forcing herself to act that way, and when paired with other better actors who are more natural in the film, her shortcomings are really obvious. The film is the same old formula of the most popular high schooler being vanity and ultimately learning to be herself. The twist here is the 20 years passing by. So at first it was super repetitive. But thanks to the great performance from Angourierice and the editing, it was okay to sit through the first 15 minutes. But when she wakes up after 20 years and makes the decision to go back to school, it continues to be the same old formula again. But thanks to the gimmick of 20 years in coma, the character interactions are the highlights of the film. And that is what makes this film bearable, whether she is interacting with old friends or new. And as they interact, more and more backstory starts to reveal, and it gives a lot of heart to the second part of the story, which ultimately leads to a predictable but competent payout. The biggest plot hole everyone will be wondering after watching the film is the movie never once brought up the cause of a coma. Although this choice fits into the tone of the movie, being lighthearted, it is unacceptable to choose the easy way out by ignoring this important plot element, especially when the two people involved in this accident are still going to be the parties involved in the central battle of the film. It's like the writer doesn't have a way to have a happy ending if they address this in the film. They just say, you know what? She never cares about why she was hospitalized. That is just bad. All the potential of the interactions are just thrown out of the window because they want to avoid that complication. It's unacceptable. The film is not that funny, and Rebel Wilson is not that great, in my opinion. The script is also the most basic, generic one that you can have with this story. Although the backstory is pretty heartfelt and sad, they just get overshadowed by the lazy writing and forced comedy. So if you enjoy Rebel Wilson's comedy style and are a huge fan of Rebel Wilson, You might have a chance to be entertained by this movie if you can overlook the lackluster acting and the lazy script. Or else, don't bother with this one. So, have you seen this movie? Do you like it? Are you a Rebel Wilson fan? Do you like her comedy style? Comment down below and let me know. Thank you for watching. See you next time.
Move along.